My reason to keep going was the music.
Basically, songs are small stories that serve, really.
There we go.
Maybe God does something to protect us with our grief, because some of the stuff that I didn't process then, I'm processing now. And it's like, okay, now it feels more right to have these realizations.
Do you want to share maybe with everyone first of all, what good things came to your life, because of this?
Number one, God does show up when you call on him, because those could be really nice. I've mentioned before, like, people can say nice Bible verses, but like, are they really true? Does God really show up? Is he there for you? I've seen that be true. I've not felt alone.
That is what they would have wanted for us,
Yes. Yeah, they wouldn't want us constantly sitting in grief.
Not a lot of people that can understand me the way that you can. And I bet it's like the same way around.
Yeah.
And so I'm really grateful for that as well.
Hi, welcome to Stories That Serve. I'm your host, Laura Husband. We love to share our stories to serve others. And through sharing our stories, we hope to gain empathy, hope, inspiration, and connection. Thanks again for joining me, Tal Ramon, for episode 3, STS-3, for this new podcast. It's been awesome getting to reflect on our shared experience through walking through losing our dads on the Space Shuttle Columbia, to the public and private life that led to, of our grief and our processing, and now moving into this big thing happened to us, and we're 12 years old, and now we're jumping into life without our dads. And I mentioned last episode, faith is a big foundational point for me, and music is a big tool for you in your therapy and processing. What did that look like as you went back to school, grew up?
My father, his mother, my grandmother, was a piano teacher. So my father also played piano, and he bought his own piano, and it was waiting in Israel. And when we came back, I started going through a process with my father's piano, knowing that he sat down and touched the same keys and listened to the same notes as I am. And all of a sudden, this was a way to connect with him and kind of feel like I felt like I kind of found my place to let it out. So I would play, and then I started, learning more and more and studying, and music became a way of life. And I started composing and writing songs, and it was a big part of my process. It gave me kind of my own way and on my own time and my own terms through music. Sometimes you don't need words to kind of express what you're feeling. And that was, I think, a big part, I think, for everybody who needs to go through such a hardship, that expressing yourself through your body and through words, through sports, through arts, is such an important part of it. And kind of like looking out for yourself, making sure you're healthy, making sure you're your own best friend, that you're drinking enough, that you're eating enough. And that was kind of our responsibility. And I remember my mother always, she was very into therapies and holistic health, and kind of taking care of the body and the mind, and us, we were the reason for them to keep going, for our mothers to keep going, to give us the best childhood that we can have, even after this tragedy, this loss.
Yeah. Wow. I'm thinking about that now. We both really grew close to our moms through this too.
Of course.
That was a big shift because we lost our dads. We were close to our moms before. I think both of us already were, but this solidified that in so many more ways of that closeness. And the relationship with my mom too, I think I watched her grieve. I watched her speak at events. I watched her. She did it, like you said, they did it for us. My mom wrote a book very soon after everything happened while it was fresh on her mind. Honestly, she wasn't trying to. Multiple people approached her and asked her to. And so she finally decided to and dedicated it to me and Matthew and she's like, and I'll do this while it's fresh on my mind,
Yeah.
and shared the story. And yeah, I think too, as a 12-year-old, it was hard watching my mom have her grief. Now I'm like, that makes sense that, people cry and
Yeah.
I cried, but it's hard watching your mom go through that too. I think we carried some of that too of watching our parent hurting, because they both had a beautiful marriage. Your mom and dad had a beautiful marriage. My mom and dad had a beautiful marriage.
Such in love.
Yeah.
Both of them, both our parents were,
Yeah.
each of our mothers was this pillar of strength, and
Yes.
sometimes they would break,
Yeah.
and I think it's important that they didn't hide it from us. I don't think your mom did. I don't think my mom did. Maybe there were certain points where they were kind of sheltering us, but I think we did go through this as a family. And for me, my older brother Asaf, we were just 2 years apart, and he became kind of like the man of the family. He was the older brother, and he was like looking out for us, for my mother as well, and for me and my younger brother and my younger sister. And he took on the role of kind of being our friend as well as a brother, and being there for us, supporting us. And he did that in such a beautiful way and very devoted way. And so my brother, he followed my father's footsteps, and he achieved his own dream of a childhood dream. He wanted to be like my father, a fighter pilot for the Israeli Air Force, and he did it. The expectations were, higher than ever, and he had to prove himself. And he did. He really went all in and did everything that he could to be the best. And he finished first in his class.
Yeah.
So
I remember
this was of course, such a proud and happy moment for our family. I think it was one of the most happiest moments of my life. If I recall, like going through the happiest moments of my life, that was when my brother also achieved his dream. And I think when he did that, it kind of like proved to everybody that you can go through hardship and still be able to do hard things and to achieve what your dreams are, what you want, what your wants are, and what your life, what do you want from life, to do something meaningful. And so he did, and he became such a big role model for so many people. After enduring such a loss and going after my father's passion of flight. After he finished his flight course, there was a training accident, and our family had to deal again with a tragedy. So big again. 6 years after, only 6 years after, the Columbia disaster, we realized that we are facing another big hardship in our life, and I think this time it felt like it was below the belt. It felt like it was just too much.
Similar accident type thing too.
He died at age 21 and a half. And we remember, that half very, because it was such a young age, so every moment counted. And yeah, and the whole state of Israel was mourning with us again and again. You know, the public grief, the national grief, combined with our own personal loss.
Right. It was devastating. I remember because he was like an older brother to me. He was such a comfort to everyone. And he really did take on that role in a lot of ways for people. And I watched him do that in your family and just so kind to everyone. And I I was a sophomore in college, I think, and heard the news after cheer practice and literally lost it in the gym at Trinity. Like I remember as we were talking about, we remember where we were. I remember where I was when I heard that. And it felt like I'd lost a big brother. And I know it's even more for you, of course. It felt so devastating after having walked through what we all did to have that then happen. And again, in such a similar way, in a public way, it just, it
was another, big shock.
Yeah.
Nobody was ready for it. Nobody was ready for it. And in Asaf, he was really my best friend. We played together. I would teach him the songs that I would write. And what happened afterwards is that, again, the music saved me, gave me my reason, my reason to keep going was the music. And I started performing already at that age. And when I realized that the music, the lyrics, the songs were affecting people and giving them connection, giving them a chance to kind of get their own kind of clues and ways about how to deal with their own hardship.
Basically, songs are small stories that serve. Really,
there we go.
Yeah, serving people through again, sharing that. Yeah, in that
the music,
way.
Was there for me, and I decided I would record an album and do it in their name, in my father's name and in my brother's name and in their memory, because such these songs were so connected to what I went through and the kind of the healing process that I was going through.
Yes.
So this first album that was released in 2016, it was taken to space, which is crazy. I mean,
that's neat.
Yeah. So I released my first album, and of course that was my way to commemorate them. But my mother's way to commemorate my father's and brother's memory was through educational programs, through continuing my father's work, basically. And what she did is she founded this foundation. It's called the Ramon Foundation, in their name. And it's about teaching children the values and giving them opportunities to fulfill their dreams, to become leaders, to be initiators, to make a difference, and all of this in the inspiration of my brother and father. I mean, to kind of like prove themselves that they can be what they want to be, and that they have a back for it, and the Ramon Foundation became that foundation that kind of backed up these children from all over Israel, from the south to the north, secular, religious, all different religions, different colors, different areas, and when everybody was on board, this thing grew very fast, and today we are, tens and thousands of children are being affected and learning about my brother, and kind of getting inspiration from them and getting opportunities to do something great with their lives. There's many different programs, of course. I wouldn't go too much into it, but if you'd like I would tell the people back home that you're more than welcome to look up the Ramon Foundation, see what we do.
We'll include the link in our show notes too.
Great.
Yeah.
But it's from kindergarten to high schoolers, and all of this is space education to make a better future, to give people something to hope for, you know?
Yeah, I had the chance to go to Israel and go to the Space Science Symposium and see a glimpse of what Rona had done with the Ramon Foundation and what had been built. And a lot of kids that just remind me of my dad and your dad, who had big dreams and are able to really get to play in creative and scientific ways that can propel their dreams forward and give them opportunities to see themselves in those kind of roles. And it was amazing. Yeah.
It's also a way. It's a language. You know, maybe it has to do with space, but maybe through what you're doing, through the activity, you're learning how to be a team player, or you're learning how to lead a group, or how to speak about and debate about what you believe in. The years have passed, and I started working on my second album, and I would always come back from the recording process and come back to my mother and kind of like show her what I've been doing and getting her 411 what she thought about it. And there was one time when she did stop me and said, "I'm sorry, Tal, I have something to tell you." And she told me that she was diagnosed with cancer. And again, you know, my heart dropped, and we realized that we have another huge challenge in our life. But this time it was a fight. It wasn't a shock. This time we had to fight for time. For time together. And I released my mother. You know, she didn't let me stop the recording process. She wanted me to keep on going with my dream, and so I did, and I kept on recording, and of course I released my second album, which is called "It's Not Over Yet." I released it and I dedicated it to her memory after she had passed. And today I lean on music again, you know, and it's just it's my partner for life, I guess.
Yeah, I walking through one parent and then another. It's just
But you know, I have experienced so much loss in my life.
Yeah.
I'm a happy person. I party. I go and you know, I dance and I have a good life. And I can say the same thing about my brother and sister. And that is all because I was blessed with such great parents. And I am so grateful that I had the time that I had with them.
Yeah.
I learned so much, and I carry that, you know, until this day. They're still with us. They're still with us, and they're still affecting us, even if they're not here, you know, physically.
Yeah. I thank you for sharing that. I know it's not easy ever to rehash these things. And I walked through a lot of loss too after our dads, and I grieved with your family too in those losses. And I think I did
came to visit as well.
I did. Yeah.
You came a few times to Israel to visit us, and
it was great.
It was good.
So many good memories, and even playing piano together, and being there and being with your mom even, and really special times that, again, you're so thankful. You cherish every moment you have. You just don't ever not cherish your moments, big and small. I did a number count at some point. I think I lost 30 plus people after my dad. So I walked through a number of family members and friends, and you know, I don't want to go into all the details at the moment, but just walked through a lot of grief after, a big public one. One of the other big public ones I went through was losing 5 cast members in a car accident. The week before we closed our show, I'm now an actor, singer, dancer, do musicals, stage, film, and I was doing the show Texas Outdoor Musical, and we were a week from closing, and all of a sudden we lost 5 of our people that were in our cast and we're close to, and hit again with an unexpected moment of a bunch of people we love, and they're living their dream and then they're gone. And again, God being faithful through that night, finding that out. It's just continually, I agree with you. Joy and pain. Like there's joy in the grief and there's joy in the pain too. Like I still enjoy my life. I still have great moments.
It's both.
It's both.
You have to.
Yeah, and I wouldn't trade it.
You have to find something to live for. You have to find that fire.
Yes.
To keep you going, and that is a fight that everyone who has lost somebody dear has to go through to find their meaning, find their fire that keeps them here, keeps them, living their best life. And I know that's what, my parents, and that's what your father would have wanted for you. We are fulfilling what they wanted in the end.
Yeah.
And they were such happy people. So, such party people.
They did have good times.
Yeah. They were always laughing. And of course, that is what they would have wanted for us,
Yes. Yeah. They wouldn't want us constantly sitting in grief. And it is okay to have it, but it's
both. It
is both. And I think
the hot and the cold, and it's like,
yes. Some days it's literally both. Yeah. It could be even a moment or a second where it's both. I think now, reflecting back on grief then, I think maybe God does something to protect us with our grief, because some of the stuff that I didn't process then, I'm processing now. And it's like, okay, now it feels more right to have these realizations. Like, for example, I think at 12, I felt like I had to be vigilant. And just recently, I was realizing that I had a vigilance kind of feeling where I'd always have to be aware of what's going on and make sure I'm okay, make sure my mom's okay, make sure everybody around me's okay, I'm good, we're good. I would grieve, but I always felt like I was like, I want to take care of my mom, take care of people, make sure you're good, and I think God started like stripping back the layers of that even in the past 6 months, and was like, you don't have to be vigilant all the time. Like I'm there for you, and you can rest, and you can trust that I've got this, and you can take moments that you don't have to be on edge and making sure you are put together or other people are. I think it led to some perfectionism, maybe even, that wasn't healthy. Like always thinking I had to do it right because, I wanted to make sure things were okay. But there's such a release too in not feeling like you have to be perfect anymore. And even through being an artist, you realize imperfection actually is a great thing. It's what's interesting. Like, we don't do robotic melodies. We don't do robotic acting performances or dance routines. Like, if it was robotic and mechanical, it's the little flourish, or it's the little like change in your voice, or it's the little way that you react to something on camera as an actor. Like, those are the interesting moments, and it's not what someone would define as perfect. It's the imperfections, it's the authenticity. And I think some of that started coming up later of like, okay, like through this grief process, I don't have to be vigilant anymore. I can let go. I can trust that God's in control, and I can enjoy these moments where I don't feel like I know how to make it all okay all the time. And it's okay.
Yeah. You think maybe because, when people go through something so hard that as they grow up, they kind of have to deal with a louder volume kind of their inside kind of dilemmas, kind of trying to be with one, kind of like trying to look out for your own feet, not to trip yourself. Kind of like, okay, you said you were dealing with like wanting everything to be okay, right? That's what you were looking for all the time. So you kind of want to fulfill that, and no matter what. And then you learn that it's okay that you're sad now, or it's okay that nothing is going right. And the next day, and I think once you do go through hardship in your life, you have kind of that proportion, the objectivity, kind of looking out at yourself.
It's reflective. Like as you get older, there's just grief is not linear. I think it's like you have those moments, and then I'm 34 years old now, and I'm like, what? I thought I already processed this, but it's like a new thing because of a new experience has arisen, and so through those things we learn more about ourselves and learn more about how that might have affected us, or how we maybe perceived something at the time, and now even having sympathy for me being 12, like seeing 12-year-old, I've mentioned, I think in a previous episode, seeing a 12-year-old and realizing that how young that is. I didn't feel that young, but now I see a 12-year-old, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling the empathy even for my younger self that I didn't maybe. At the time, I was like, Laura, you should have it together. And it's like, no, you're literally 12. Like, you're not going to have it all together, and you're not going to understand everything going on. Yes. I don't understand everything now, but there's more freedom in knowing that now. I'm always learning, and I always want to be learning. And it's encouraging to know that we have what we need for today. God will give us what we need for every day. And we just take that as it comes, and like you said, it's both. There's joy and there's hard things, and
do you want to share maybe with everyone first of all, what good things came to your life, because of this, or what have you learned from this? That strengthens you.
I think for me, it's number one, God does show up when you call on him. Because those could be really nice. I've mentioned before, like people can say nice Bible verses, but like, are they really true? Does God really show up? Is he there for you? I've seen that be true. I've not felt alone. I've never felt alone through everything I've walked through. And I know that if I face anything in the future that's hard or even good or successful, like I know I'm not going to be alone. I know God's going to be with me, and he's my hope. No matter what I have or don't have in this lifetime, I have him. And I also have loved over the years diving into the creative world, with dance and with acting and singing, and just different doors have opened to, I did stage for a long time, and now I'm doing more film, and I just officially opened my production company, Sand and Stars Studios, LLC, which is, I'm the executive producer of this podcast.
There you go.
Stories That Serve. So this is the first thing, even through my production studio.
Also a dream come true.
Yeah, it's a dream come true. It really is. And I have a short film I'm working on and some other projects, but it's dreaming and being creative. God's creative, and I feel like I'm aligning with him in that way by also being creative and
fulfilling yourself.
Yeah. It is very fulfilling and feeds your soul in so many ways. So
that's true.
What about you? What joy has come from this? Where are you at now?
Well, I can say for me today, I also have a few lanes, 2 lanes mostly. One is the public one, which is through the foundation, and it's about spreading the love, spreading the light, spreading and giving children opportunities to fulfill themselves. And seeing how all these children are brought together just because of my father and his mission, and in that inspiration, look how many smiles my father brought to this world, and my brother, people who go to the Air Force, everybody learns about my father and my brother in Israel's culture. My mother, they're all such great heroes, and so for me, I'm on the board of the foundation. I'm making sure that my mother's dream of making my father's dream come true.
Yeah.
So I'm continuing that with my younger brother Iftach and my younger sister Noah, and each in our own way, kind of continuing that, spreading the love and the light that they have shined. Because they're super inspirational people, and I mean, I just need to speak about them to get some kid to light up and smile, and his eyes open up, and he's dreaming about different things, and that he believes that he can do it. And so for me, that is such an amazing thing to have in my life, and it is what my mother has left me, and my father, my brother, to keep their memory alive and to do positive things with what they have done, and to bring happiness into life, because you don't see the children sad in these programs. You see them hearing about my father and brother, and being very inspired. And it's a happy ending. It's even, I can even say it's a happy ending,
Yeah, that's amazing. So you represent both your mom, dad, and brother in that way through the Ramon Foundation. And you said there's another lane.
Right. The other lane is my own personal lane, which is through art, through music, through public speaking, which I do now. And I've been sharing my story and playing music for different communities all over the world, really. And this is what brought me here to speak as well here in Houston. And I'm glad that we had this opportunity. I mean, this is wonderful, and I'm really grateful that we had each other throughout our lives. Like, think about if we didn't have that. I mean, we have somebody in our life that, we were the same age. We went through this whole process together, from start to finish. And so much of our life is, just parallel. And I feel like there is not a lot of people that can understand me the way that you can. And I bet it's like the same way around.
Yeah.
And so I'm really grateful for that as well. And
I'm grateful for you, Tal. Thank you.
Thank you for having me here.
I agree with you. There's a special bond as the Columbia families that we have, and us too, just even walking through this together. It is a blessing to have someone who you don't have to explain something to. They already know. And yeah, we really have walked some parallel train tracks of things and ceremonies, and it's like we can just look and be like, you okay? It's just things like that. It's a blessing to have, and I'm so thankful for it. And thank you for being here. This is an incredible way to start this podcast. And on that note, how do you think what you're doing now, your story, what you're living right now, is serving others?
Well, these two lanes a bit are for me the way to keep going. That's the fire, keeping me going. Both the foundation and art and music, giving me a chance to, keep dreaming, keep going for the next, goal. And the Ramon Foundation gets bigger and does more programs, and more children are affiliated and growing up with our family, being a part of our family in a way. And so I'm gonna keep on with these two lanes, which I hold close to my heart, and that's what keeps me strong, I think.
Thank you, Tal. And with that, I just want to thank you. This has been amazing, just to sit down and get to visit and share our hearts, and process as we continually walk through this. And where can people find you and follow along with what you're doing?
Online, definitely. You're all welcome to go to the streaming services and look up Tal Ramon and for the foundation, the Ramon Foundation, and just Google it, and you will find all of our programs.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, and we'll attach the links in our show notes. Thanks again, Tal. And thank you guys for joining us again for Stories That Serve. I'm your host, Laura Husband. We will see you next time.